Hey, everybody. That is Gary Smith.
Hello.
That is Kaz Kenny.
Kapow!
And I am Eddie Bramble, and this is episode 48 of the Blackwater's Edge podcast. 48. Kaz wants to start us off with this week's fishing report.
Well, I guess the fishing report really is not too much to report unless you like floating ice on the
Cold,
water and being cold.
snow and ice.
Yeah, so
Yep.
up the bay, those guys put in time. They're finding some yellow perch. They're finding some crappie. A few white perch in a couple places are showing up. I know a place right here that's got a lot of white perch going on, and they just haven't come up in the rivers yet. So I know a place that they're holding and they're staging. So I know it's just a matter of water temperature now and a matter of time before they start busting up these rivers. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
So I don't know. I mean, it's been a tough week. Everybody's out setting nets. Everybody's getting ready for things to start happening. So, everybody's getting in place. So we're doing the same thing. We're getting ourselves in place, getting ready for things that are getting ready to happen here within the next month. We don't want to be caught with our pants down around our ankles, running through sloppy mud, smelling like marsh gas. You know what I'm saying? So, so that's kind of what's going on. The fishing report, though, really, honestly, it's not much. I mean, it's blue catfish, cornflowers over catching blue cats. We know some guys that are catching some yellow perch up in the Chester, and I know some guys that are catching some yellow perch up in the bush, out in the Bush River, out past the train tracks. They're seeing a few. They're seeing a few around them bridge pylons out there. This is all before it got real cold. I haven't talked to many people today. I know Danny Rodriguez, he's a diehard guy. I know he's finding some yellow perch up there, and I saw some good quality fish that he was finding. So, the pickerel, yeah, man. I mean, pickerel biting up in the Severn, we got that. We got pickerel down in Barron Creek, good point, Grant Elliott. We got a lot of stuff going on out there pickerel-wise. This is the time of year for that. If this is the time they're spawning, when the record was broken, this is about the time that record was broken. And I happen to know the guy, Mr. Lee Hale, who broke that record. And, they're cold water fish. If you're going to catch them and you want to get them big girls, that's the time you're going to get them. Just keep in mind, pickerel, they're good to eat if you steak them and you know how to cook them. A lot of people don't know this, but when you go up north, like we have pit beef stands here, when you go up north in the can and things like that, the big thing up there is pike stands and walleye stands and getting a walleye sandwich and a pike sandwich, and things like that. So I think a big misconception a lot of folks, think is that, that they are bony fish. That's not a misconception, but the misconception is that they don't taste good. But keep in mind that, with everything that's going on around here and how impressionable pickerel were here with things that unfold, just try to pay attention to that. If you see females and you don't, you got a couple males to eat and they're of good size and it's what you want, man, put the rest back. You don't need one or two to eat. You don't need them females loaded down with eggs like that to eat. That's all.
I like them. I've eaten them.
Oh, I love them.
Times.
I mean, I stake them out. You know what I mean? And if you lay them flat, steak like that, then what you can do when you cook them is you can take a fork and you can get around that Y bone real easy without having to do so much work in prep work as far as fillet. I like the easy way out of any kind of fish. Boom. Chain it, I chop that thing in half, throw that thing on a platform.
I was just about to ask you, what's the easy way for a snakehead?
But anyway, so, yeah, pickerel have value in the food system and they're good to eat too. Yeah, I like pickerel. I've talked to some guys that were chasing some pike and some muskie. I do have a friend. I'm not going to put him on blast, but this guy's literally smoking muskies up in the Susquehanna River. I can tell you that. He's smoking some giant walleyes up there. And I'm going to be bringing him down here in a couple of weeks to talk about all his adventures this winter that he was kind of just keeping under the belt and what he was doing up there. Some of these muskies that he's catching up there are just giants. And it's not the same fish, which that was one of the first things I asked him. I was like, because I know the muskies are very territorial and they want to hang in an area. They want that to be their area. And he said out of all these muskies that he's taught, 2 had been hooked twice. So, and he did say the other day that he was pretty sure that the other one that he hooked was one he'd already hooked because it had a certain marking on its side of its face that he recognized before. And his daughter said as he was lifting it out of the water, "That's the one from the other day." So, so to say that a fish will not bite every so often or whatever, it's not going to hit the same lures or stuff like that. It's not true because he's been using the same lure
Might be true.
all winter.
It might be true for pickerel, but snakeheads, we know they aren't going to hit the same lure again.
Right.
No, they're not going to hit the same lure, but they bite again.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
but I've talked to some guys, just before this cold snap, man, perch were busting loose everywhere. A lot of these netters and guys like that up in the Chester, some guys are finding some real quality fish. Even here locally, out in the bay, they're finding some good fish. Keep in mind that Hunger River, that's a good place, out there in the mouth past the straits to look for these big perch, You know, if you want to go out and you want to jig the bottom or something like that, something to do on a warm afternoon, you'd have a pretty good shot of catching at least a couple dozen to put in your bucket to take home with you anyway. You know, it's just a simple bell sinker on the bottom, a jig, you just drop to the bottom, lift, and you'll feel them just like we did up the river, you know, growing up there in Susquehanna. So, cold water fish, it's that time of the year, you know, so I'm looking for crappie, I'm looking for yellow perch, I'm looking for bluegill, I'm looking for a lot of panfish to play with. That's what I'm looking for. You know, I'm looking for chain pickerel, yes. I'm looking for walleye if I'm up north. I'm looking for muskies and northerns if I'm in the reservoirs, you know, some of those places. I'm looking for giant rockfish in some of those places. So there's lots of opportunities out there, and a lot of these bridges and these reservoirs got deep water around them that you can fish, that hold fish all year. So, you know, some of those places up there in Hartford, Baltimore, Carroll County, those big reservoirs up there, you might want to look around. That's something I did as a kid growing up. I spent many, many weekends freezing my ass off, you know, dropping shiners down along bridge pilings just off of a bank trying for something to do under a bridge out of the snow. You know what I mean?
I thought you spent all your weekends skateboarding.
Well, I did that too. Well, that honestly, you know, I mean, like the whole skateboard thing, that was like teenage stuff, but like, Even Roy Boyd would tell you, I mean, even when we were 16, 17, well, I was 16, he was 2 years older than I was because he was out of school and I was hooking school riding with him during the day. But, I mean, our thing was, you know, we rode our skateboards and we fished. I mean, we'd ride our skateboards on the road where we just came back from fishing and just to push back and forth, do a trick, fall down.
You ever troll from a skateboard?
That's what I was just about to ask him.
Hey, Roy, let's do it, dude. You got a bridge we could do this thing on, kick our skateboard down the side and just hang a rod down and go. Let's try it, man. I'm there.
They got these battery-operated ones now.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Hey, I'll tell you what, and just to help him out a little bit, I know he's got a real nice kayak, man. I've been eyeballing it myself, man.
He's been trying to sell it, yeah.
Well, he dropped it to $1,000 today. So any of you knuckleheads out there that are looking for a really, really good deal, I can tell you right now.
That's a nice kayak.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very nice kayak. So check out Roy and check that out. But, I mean, that's really where I'm on the fishing front. There's something everywhere. If you look around, is it spectacular fishing right now? Nah, not really. Some people get on a biomass and they knock it out of the ballpark. But it's just like anything else. It's fishing, man.
That's how you know it's only February, because we're only 7 minutes into this show and you're already done the fishing report.
Well, I mean, the good news is, you know, I'm looking at the forecast. Yeah, we got some cold nights, but
Yeah.
you know, you got to understand. You've heard me say this a million times. I'm watching today as the tide's coming in and going out. I'm watching some of the ice leaving. You know, the sun's back out, shining a little bit. You know, so we know what happens with that dirty water. And then this weekend, I'm seeing 45, 50 degrees on Saturday as a high. That's what I last saw anyway. So, I mean, is the refraction and is the amount of sunlight that soaks in the afternoon going to be a time to do something? People don't understand that you only need maybe 5. Here's what you need is a low tide with the mud out of the water at 45 degrees, 50 degrees, and that water just simply come back up in there, and you watch it just bang, fire off. You know
I'll give you an example. I was at a funeral this afternoon, and it was at the graveyard. And I'm standing there. You can just space yourself out. So there's a gravestone there, a big old granite gravestone. And it's gray. It's not, you know, it's not even dark. And I put my hand on top of it. That sucker was tasty warm.
Yep.
Yeah, because it was cold. The wind was blowing probably 12, 15 mile an hour, and it was in the, I think, 42 or something like that. I saw. But that stone was probably 65, 70 degrees. I mean, it was noticeably warm.
Well, you got to think of it just like when you're sitting in the truck in the wintertime. If you're sitting in the truck and the sun's up, it's around noon, and that it's beating through your window, you know how hot it's going to get sitting in that truck.
Your Snickers bar will melt on the dash.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's still 30 or 40 degrees outside.
Yeah.
But when you're close to it works the same way on those mud flats. It just absorbs that heat.
Yeah, I mean, and like I was the other day, like I walked out, it was like, I don't know what it was, 30 degrees, and like literally when I put my hand on my black door handle to open it up, I was like, man, that's like night and day out here.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's one of the cool things that's always been awesome about Blackwater is that we've had a year-round fishery here, no matter what, you know. I mean, simply just, you know, we need a couple warm days in the middle of a February or January. I think the biggest thing that I ever learned from my cousin Richard Seagard, not all fishermen are liars, but a lot of liars like to fish. And there's a moral to this story because I think I was like 18 or 19 years old, and I was just getting into bass fishing and just getting that going and just getting fired up, man. And I loved buzzbaits, man. Like, I was a buzzbait freak, man. Like, there was more buzzbait boxes than anything. Like, that's all I wanted to do was use buzzbaits. So he called me and he says, hey, we're going down to go catch them perch. You know, if you want to go do the night trip with us. And then if you want to, I'll take you over to Blackwater and I'll show you a largemouth bass in January on topwater. And I'm just like, Does he know he's talking to? Does he know I'm talking? He's talking to the Bass Pro here, bro. That's really what I thought it was back in the days. I said, "That's not possible, dude. It's just not possible." He said, "Man, I got 20 years on you, boy." He said, "You come down, we're going to go perch fish, and I'll take catch one on a buzz bait in January." And you know what? We caught not one. We caught I forget how many we caught that day on a buzz bait. And that was the scenario. We had a really, really hard cold snap before this little itty bitty warm up.
3-day warm period.
And literally we had the winds out of the north. I mean, there was no water anywhere. Everything was out of the water and was covered in ice and snow 4 days before we did this, no lie. And Richard Seagard, I know you're out there and you can back that story up. So tell them people. I mean, we sat there literally and just busted the hell out of them. I couldn't believe it, man. In January 20-something is what it was, and I was just blown away. And that was when the beginning really started for me coming here, honestly, as that kid. You know what I mean? I could not believe that you could do that. That was like something off the hook, never heard of where I was from. You know what I mean? And as he showed me things over the years, little pieces at a time, the perch, this, that, different spots, you know, I mean, it's just... The fishery here is just amazing. That's why we like it. That's why I like this. It attracted me so much. I didn't have to go to Deep Creek. I didn't have to go here. I could literally fish here all year no matter what I wanted to catch. I could go down to Salisbury. I could run over to a pond. I could go to Idlewild. I could go wherever I wanted to go. You know what I mean? I could always find a place to fish here, and I could always find fish no matter what it was. It might take a day or two, but once I found them, I was on them. You know what I mean? Homework. If you don't know, if you don't go. So that's just the bottom line with fishing, period, and especially this time of the year. If you don't know, you don't know if you don't go. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's about what I got on the fishing report. But I know, you know, this we've been talking about some things. You know, we've been playing this COVID thing, trying to watch what's going on with that. Man, this was just horrible last year what we had to go through. And everybody, not just us, everybody as a whole has had to go through a lot of this. And, you know, I think the fishing community as a whole, the good thing about being in a community like this is that a lot of people don't have the opportunity that we have where we can pick up a phone and say, "Hey, man, I just call and see what you've been doing. What's the fishing like?" You know, a lot of people don't have that. What? Yeah, what? You don't even know what to say, do you? Here. How about this here?
No,
Yeah, hey,
no,
what's
it's
going
funny.
on with my...
No, I don't mean to interrupt your
Go
story.
ahead.
I saw a video the other day.
Right.
It's this kid. The mom's like, hold up a phone to your ear, and the kid just picks something. He's like, it's like nobody does that. Like only like 12, 13-year-olds do this. Like everybody else goes like this, but the kids only know smartphones that go like this. It's just a funny thing. It's just a funny thing I saw. I just thought of it when you did that.
But I mean, the cool thing for me through COVID is that I know that, you know, as a community of fishermen, we've always got something to talk about because we can always talk about fishing. And normally when we talk about fishing, we're not talking about politics. We're not talking about all the slimy, greasy shit that's going on no matter what side of the fence you're on or what out there. You know, I'm worried more about fishing in the upcoming snakehead season and making sure that I've got some income coming from some direction of some sort so that I don't go belly up and die. But, I mean, that's the biggest thing. You know what I mean? Prepare and execute. One of the biggest things I ever heard Father Martin at Father Martin's Ashley say in Haverty Grace, Maryland was this: if you want to succeed in life, you prepare and then you execute. You know what I mean? You just don't go into it. You know what I mean? So, you know, we've been doing a lot of prep work, you know, here this last 8 months with our downtime. You know, we've been sitting here and we've been reaching out to people, we've been trying to build the podcast, been trying to figure out how we're going to bring the tournaments back, what we're going to do with the club,
coming back.
what we're going to do with this. And we got a lot of good stuff to
announce
do.
today.
So as I lead into that with that little hint, Eddie, let's start talking about the tournament.
We're starting with tournaments first?
I guess.
Okay. So, back for 2021. We skipped 2020, but we had a good 2019 with it, but COVID shut down 2021. And back for 2021 is the Chennai Championship Trail. Back with 4 tournaments again. Dates are a little different this time. First tournament, May 1st. Now, we're doing a little different this year. 1-day tournaments only. We heard everybody talking. Everybody was always tired after the 2-day tournament last year.
Yep.
And we agreed.
It's a lot to do.
It was a lot for everybody. It was a lot for us, a lot for the fishermen. It was just a lot to do. So, this year we're going to 1-day tournaments. And they're all going to be on a Saturday. First one is May 1st. Second tournament, and that
now we haven't came up with names for these tournaments yet because as we get sponsors in, we may name these according to however any sponsors might want to name something.
Right.
You know,
so that's still in the works, but we're just giving you the dates right now so you can set it on your calendar. May 1st, second tournament is going to be June 19th. Tournament number 3 is going to be July 31st, and we got to call the fourth one the same. The fourth one's always the Blackwater Snakehead Open.
Yeah, we'll do that.
So the 2021 Blackwater Snakehead Open is September 18th. And so that's our 4 tournaments. And, of course, we're going to have the Angler of the Year again. We're going to have
We're gonna do the whole points thing again.
We're gonna do the whole exactly.
We're gonna have the belt. You're gonna have to take that away from Wayne Waters this year if you want to get it.
Somebody please take it from him. I'm tired of him bragging about it.
I know that our guest tonight has been saying, he's vying for the belt, and I know Mr. Dixon, he's vying for the belt.
Oh yeah.
I know at least 12 guys that are vying for the belt. So Wayne Waters, you might have a little bit of hell on your hands this year.
It's going to be heavy competition.
But I know Wayne. I mean, you got to watch Wayne.
Wayne's not going anywhere.
Wayne's World, baby. Just kidding.
It's been Wayne's World for 2 years because of COVID. So we've been stuck with that. Yep. So sorry, Wayne, but we need a new champion.
Not necessarily. He brings in some 200-pound bags, bro.
That's true.
Yeah, he can still win again.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
So, but yeah, we're back. We're gonna have the Calcuttas again, the heaviest of the tournament, the longest of the tournament, the most caught in a day, and we're gonna have a minimum again for the size. That way you can't just go catch a fry ball in a net and bring them in and say I caught the most. So we're gonna have a minimum. I can't remember what the exact minimum size. I think it was like
8 or 10. We'll figure that out.
8 or 10 inches. I got to go back and look at what we did last in 2019.
I can at least get a finger stick off 8-inch fish. You know what I mean?
So we're also gonna go back with the heaviest of the year again. That's a separate Calcutta. Kids fish free, again. Kids are gonna fish free in their own separate part of the tournament. And then new for 2021.
Wait. Is this going to be another free Calcutta?
This is included in your entry fee for all the tournaments.
Does this have something to do with the world record?
This might have something to do with world record. It might.
Is this the big thing that we were hearing about from our good friend over there, Chris Leslie at BigBassUSA.com?
So new to the 2021 Chennai Championship Trail. Anyone who breaks the Snakehead world record will receive a brand new pedal kayak
during the tournament.
Yes, right. It has to be caught on the tournament date. Yeah. This isn't just caught sometime during the year. This has to be in one of the 4 tournaments. You have to catch the brand new world record. You will receive a brand new pedal kayak from Big Bass USA.
That's pretty big from Chris. I mean, you got to tip your hat right there.
Chances are good. This is relatively new.
Well, I mean, and this is just us 3 here talking. I mean, Eddie, we get some of our snakehead meat from one of the netters here.
Yep.
And I mean, we've had the pleasure of seeing fish bigger than the world record. I can tell you that. So, and we know they're here. They're just getting nets set out now. So,
Grant, I see your question. Yes, the weigh-ins will be back at Wolford Store.
Oh, absolutely.
This year. Sure.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. Yep. If we get too big, then we might do something else.
I
think we'll be here for sure. So we might have to do some social distancing.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out. We're still working out how we're gonna do the social distancing.
County, doing
figure
all
out how
that,
it's gonna work right. But we're gonna have the live weigh-ins just like before. We're also gonna have social distancing, and we're gonna have it here at the store. We're gonna make it work somehow or another.
So
I get my nails done.
Hand model Gary.
I'm all ready.
And you have to say, what do you tell me on Tim Cass? Wait, I'm not done yet.
That's right.
Cass, put it back.
Slow down, Cass.
Slow down, Cass. We're not done yet. But yeah, so I mean that's big right there in itself.
That's big.
And the spot, and it'll be just like the last time. The spot.
We're still working on sponsors.
Sponsorships. I mean, we're just getting the word out, letting you know that things are coming together. Right. We've talked to everybody. I know our good friend Andrew Bradshaw, the new mayor up at Cambridge. He's excited about everything that we got going on down here, and I'm going to have him coming in here on the podcast real soon to talk to him about what role they can play to help us get some things going, because we know as soon as we get the Maryland Snakehead Festival stuff back up and down, that's where that's going to be. So we need to get with Andrew on that.
That was next on my list. We're working on the Snakehead Festival still. We haven't forgot you folks. We all know what COVID did to everything, but it's going to happen. We're still working out how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. So that's still in the works, but we don't really have any more information on that one today. But
so let's talk about the money is in the tournament, entry fees,
that's what
winnings,
that was my next
thing.
What
I mean? So the payout's going to be pretty much, again, big like they were before. It's not going to be a little money. We're trying to figure out the pay spread, how we're going to work with all that. But, Eddie, you can go ahead and you can break down how these entry fees are going to go.
So it's going to be $60 to enter the tournament. The Calcuttas will be $10 again each again. So it'll be $100 to get into everything for the tournament. We eliminated the bow Calcutta from
because we didn't have
it wasn't enough entries to keep doing that one, but that's okay.
We could bring it back if a lot of people would say, hey.
If enough people request it, we can bring it back. But
I'll tell you what, 50 of you say you're going to sign up for the tournament and you want the bow Calcutta, we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back in there, okay?
We'll bring it back. So we eliminated, but $100 gets you into the tournament and to every Calcutta. So, but if you don't want to get in the Calcuttas, it's $60 just for the tournament. So that takes care of that. And There's no extra entry for the world record.
Right, or the
kayak.
or the kids.
Or for the kids
are free, man.
Kids
so
are
look,
free
if you
and
got
they're
kids,
in
bring your
business.
kids. Let them catch a fish. Bring them here. Let them weigh it in. Let them get on. Let them get on. Let them be on the way in. You know what I mean?
That's
live,
right.
The live feed. You know.
So,
Now there was something we were talking about. Trying to think about earlier or is that something we talk about later in the show? Well, I'll wait till later in the show to talk about gift cards.
yeah, we'll wait.
Okay, so next up, I'm sorry, but anyway, that's kind of cool too. Gift cards.
okay.
Everybody likes gift cards.
That's okay.
So we'll get to that in a minute, folks. I'm sorry, I for the little whatever.
Putting the cart before the
Whatever,
horse.
yeah.
Time. That's okay.
All right, so go ahead. Let's do
All right. So that takes care of the tournaments. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We will take care of it as best as possible. Like I said, we're still finalizing things with sponsors and things like that, but the dates are set May 1st, June 19th, July 31st, and September 18th.
And for the next big thing that we're going to talk about.
I don't know how this happened.
Me neither.
How you got that black eye? You in my space.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Snakeheadclub.com. We've been talking about this for 4 years.
Yes.
We've been talking about putting this together.
It's coming together.
It is finally in the works. We've sat down, we've hashed out, we've talked to the sponsors, we've talked to a lot of people locally, and it is going down, and it's going to go down real quick.
So it's going to come this year. So the Snakehead Life Club is going to be one meeting per month, and we're going to have it set up so we're still working on location. We've got a couple different places lined up, whatever works out for the best for us. But we know there's going to be COVID restrictions. So here's what we're going to do.
Right.
We will have limited seating for the first so many club members who we'll try and figure out, depending on
Like we may have seating
Yeah.
at the location for
Right.
like 60 people.
Exactly. So
If 60 people are going to come that month, you know, you can go ahead and we'll have you booked in there to come in.
Right. What we'll do is we'll have a rotating chart of for who can attend. That way, everybody gets a chance to attend per month.
If it's that big, you know.
Right. If it comes to that, but if you can't make it, we're gonna be live streaming all the club meetings. That way, if you can't make it or you're stuck home, you did catch COVID and you're quarantined for 2 weeks, you can still attend the meeting virtually.
And not just that, but we know we're going to have friends that aren't here in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and our friends in Philly, and our friends in Delaware, and our friends in Virginia, and our friends in Ohio, and our friends in Georgia, and our friends in North Carolina, and Missouri, and Florida, and everywhere else that there's snakeheads.
Wichita too?
Yeah. So the cool thing is, you know, even if you can't make the meeting or you're not in the rotation for that week because of the COVID restrictions or whatever it is,
Right.
you'll be able to at least as a club member tune in. People that aren't members cannot tune in to watch the show.
No.
So when we have special guests and we have giveaways and rod companies that are coming there to give away free demos and things like that, you know, I mean, this is for the club. So if you want the opportunity of these kind of things, you want free lures, you want this, you know, you want opportunities to save discounts on things. And I mean, this is really, really a huge thing. And we're going to tie this snakeheadclub.com into something else that's going to go along with that. And we'll reveal that next week. We'll talk about that other thing, because I won't put the horse before the cart, or the cart before the horse, or the tires over the top of the cart, or the cart under the horse. So, you know, so we have another big announcement coming next week, and we'll have some really, really, we got a really big person coming next week to talk about some really, really good stuff. So that'll be really, really cool.
So back to the club, we're going to have, like I said, we're going to have one meeting per month. It's going to be $50 a year, and that gets you a T-shirt that includes your member's shirt, and includes discounts off at different locations. I know I'm going to give you 10% off your fishing stuff here at the store, hands down. That's an easy one,
Right?
So, and then Kaz already kind of spilled the beans about this one, but if you're a club member and you win a tournament, you get first place in the tournament. I'm going to throw in a little thing, something to sweeten the deal. You get a $50 gift card here to Woodford Store for winning the tournament and being a club member.
Wait, you mean you're getting paid to fish again this year, Eddie?
I'm not getting paid. I'm paying.
They're getting paid to fish again, right? So if you want to get paid to fish again this year with us, come on down here.
So basically, if you're a club member and you win the tournament, you get your club entry fee back.
Yep.
That's what it
might as
boils
well
down
say
to.
that, yeah. Or you can take your $50 gift card and come in here and stock up on some snakehead lures for the next tournament, or get you a cheesesteak, or get you an ice cream, or get you a pack of crab assholes, or a can of crab assholes,
or you can use that $50 towards a new custom rod that you might have in the store.
Are we getting cans of snakehead assholes in here, or what?
I'm
frog assholes and alligator assholes.
I'm working on it. All right. So, but back to the club. We are going to have some door prizes at each club. Like I said, we're going to be live streaming all of the meetings for everybody, all the members. We're also going to have some kind of digital newsletter for you guys to keep you up to date on everything going
Fishing
on.
reports,
Yep,
maps,
fishing
things
reports,
like
the whole
that.
works,
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
Yep. So, let's see what else. Oh, yeah, we're going to have guest speaker at each club meeting, so that way, and we're gonna have some kind of a Q&A. I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if we're gonna be able to have the Q&A for the people tuning in on the live stream, or if it's just gonna be in-person Q&A. We're still working that out, but we're gonna have something.
I think
next
we
up.
can do both. I think we
Yeah.
can have questions coming from outside and inside. And like to give you an idea on some of the guests that we're going to have, I mean, we're going to have some really good guests coming in here to talk to us. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is, again, back to the slogan, educating the public, raising awareness.
That's right.
Building a better angler. That's all this is about. And that's not about whether you want to keep them, kill them, or nothing like that. This is snakeheadclub.com. Everybody's welcome. Angler's choice. We don't care what you do with them, So if you want a chance to save money, you want a chance to get involved with a good group of guys that really, really network with one another, then this is your opportunity. You know what I mean?
And we're throwing in one more thing to sweeten the deal for you guys. If you want to join the club and pre-enter in all the tournaments, we're going to give you a nice little discount here. So the club is $50 for the year. Snakehead tournaments are $60 each. So altogether there, you're talking $290. If you want to enter in all the tournaments and the Snakehead Club all at once, it's only $250.
Kapow! How about that? Holy moly. Eddie, it sounds like you're giving away the Wolford store down here on the
Not
Eastern
quite.
Shore. Yeah, that'll never happen. What did your grandpop used to say? If people say your steak's too much, your steak ain't good enough,
That's
right?
right.
I got it right this time.
yeah, you
Good.
got
I
it.
didn't mess it up.
But yeah, so basically, guys, if you want to get into all the tournaments and the club, it's $250, covers it all, not including Calcuttas. The $250 does not include the Calcuttas, just includes your tournament entry fee. So if that's what you want to do, we'll give you a sweet little discount on that one.
And we got something other that we want to talk about club members, but we can't do that until we get to our guest in
Yes.
our show. To
Yeah, we
talk
got
about
some-
that.
we got some
Man,
other
we got
stuff.
some rocking stuff to talk about. So.
We can talk about that. We can talk about that real quick.
You want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, we can go. Go ahead. I'll let you do that one.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, Matt Fletcher has really been a good friend to us. We've been a good friend to him. We've watched him grow. We've watched a lot of people grow, and we really want to give Matt some support. We want to help him back. We want to help him grow and brand his brands.
Brand is brand.
Brand is brand. That's right. And I know that people like Snakehead skin.
Oh, yeah. That was
So-
a beautiful, beautiful thing the other day, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, I got to be honest with you, and I think Matt knows, like when I saw it going, somebody tagged me out, and I loaded it right over to our page, and I immediately watched it just go, and I thought, man, there's no better home for Matt than here with us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think that the relationship that we're going to build through this and brand is going to be a one-of-a-kind thing, and that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for everything. We're looking for the niches. You know what I mean? That's what we want to do. And
That's right.
And being that we've been in this game now for over 12 years, we've played this learning curve now for 10 years. You know what I mean? So this isn't new to us. We know what works. We know what doesn't work. We sat out there tonight, and Matt let me sit there with one of the new builds that he's got, play with it a little bit. And I just got to be honest, the way he's got these things set up, the casting distance, I mean, what he was doing last year and what he's doing this year is like a night and day thing. Okay, folks? So if you got something off him last year and you thought that was good, baby, you ain't
It's
seen
even
nothing
better.
yet.
You
You
should
know
have
what
seen
I
us
mean?
testing them out earlier.
You have
My
not seen
goodness.
nothing yet. And
Yeah, we busted the one neighbor's window.
and listen, and here's the
Fantastic
thing:
before.
if you're a member of the Snakehead Club, you'll have a special opportunity to get access to this rod, as will many other people, because it will only be available here
That's
at
right.
Blackwater's Edge.
And what we're going to do with Matt is we're going to have exclusively through Blackwater's Edge and Snakehead Life, we're going to have a custom-made Snakehead Life rod here available for you, wrapped in snakeskin, just like that one.
We have a whole line.
A whole line. We're going to have casting rods, spinning rods, medium heavy, the whole works, man. Whatever you're looking for, Snakehead Life rod wrapped in snakeskin.
And we're going to offer another option in this rod, which we haven't figured out a name, bait chuck or something like that. But we're going to step it up one more from a heavy and get into a little bit more like a musky grade kind of line, okay? And that's going to be a
We're looking into
specialty
that,
order,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's going to be a specialty product that you can order. So we're going to start playing with that, testing with that, and it's just going to be a super rod. You know what I mean? If you've got swim baits, 6 inch from Castiac, that's around California, these rods will be able to handle this stuff. If you've got big baits, big heavy chatter baits or big inlines, musky inlines, I mean, this rod's going to be able to handle. And the reason that we want to go that direction too is because everybody that knows me over the last 5 years knows that 5 years ago I changed my game in my spinner blade box and really started buying a lot of custom stuff out of the north, you know. And I'm talking about like musky gear you've never seen, man. You know, I bought a bunch of stuff off a guy named Jesse Snyder years ago, and that kind of like was laying around, and I started using some of that, and I realized how good that stuff was working on these snakeheads and holding up. And the problem that I always had with it was I never had a rod that really was balanced out to handle that 3-4 ounce bait, you know? So we know these guys are really getting into these top water carved baits and things like that. And they're heavy. They're not light. They're not a 1/4 ounce. I mean, this stuff's 3, 4, 5 ounces. Chad Wells can talk a lot about that because both me and him like throwing a lot of those big swim rats or swim baits and things like that. So we've already said for the last couple years, what's missing in the market is that beefed up, you know, dragon slaying rod. There it is right there.
There it is.
You see what it says on it, don't you? Show them what it says again, Gary. God, is that beautiful, man.
That is pretty.
And I mean, the work he's putting into it. I mean, think about that. Now, that's real snakeskin, you know,
That's
and
right.
we're going to provide all the snakeskin so he
That's
ain't got to
not a
worry
print. That's
about getting
real
it, you know what I mean?
snakeskin.
Because we know it's going to be that busy, and we're going to support him. We're going to do what we
That's
can to
right.
make sure that the snakeskin keeps going his way. You know what I'm saying?
Quick answer to Damien. No, this year we've got a lot of feedback about that. The point system is just going to be for the main tournament, not for the Calcuttas.
Yep.
The Calcuttas are not going to be part of the point system
Yep.
this year.
So this year, yeah, I mean, we heard everybody on
Yep.
everything, and we've tried to make the necessary adjustments that you guys want. This tournament's for you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
This is, I'm in the crab business. I got an income. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Eddie owns a store. He's got an income. Gary's a home builder. He's got an income. You know, this
Gary's
is
retired.
I mean, and Eddie can tell you right now, the tournaments that we have done, we certainly didn't get rich. We didn't buy no Mercedes Benzes or anything like that. So it's not like we did it to get rich. We did it more or less.
Man, what are you talking about, Mercedes? Molly would tear that Mercedes up so
Dude,
quick.
Let me tell you what, dude. The next car that I get, I'm not spending over $500. All it's got to do is start and go and stop, dude. That's all I'm worried about.
You better make sure it stops the way you
I'm
drive.
telling you, man. Like we were in here having meetings yesterday for all them hours, and you know, I know I can crater and stuff like that, but I just let her kind of cruise around the back of the Blazer, and maybe I will have to start cratering her. I don't know. I just don't want to do that to her. You know, I just hate
Need a
stressing.
vehicle with no interior.
Just get, just get one.
It's
a
like
van.
me.
Dude, Eddie,
is
where's
the
that
same,
Pioneer Sports box truck? Empty that bastard out and let's throw her in there. Every time I could just put the door down, what can she do in there?
Me is the same way. You know?
She's just high strung, you know.
That's
She's just
all.
stressing. I
She's
know.
like she's like you.
But anyway, my finish to the story was we were in here all 12 hours for the meetings last 2 days, and I said, yeah, man, she ain't eating the seatbelt no more. And then today, Gary pulled in, I went to open the trunk up, and open up the trunk, all these straps fall down. I'm like, oh my God, man, she ate all the straps and all the handles along the top of, you know, the hold on handles when you're going around the curve so you don't fall into your buddy when you're going too fast. Now I understand why the dogs are around. They don't know how to use them things since Molly ate them up. No, I'm just kidding. So. But yeah, I mean, seriously, all bullshit aside, this is big. This is big for the snakehead industry. Yep. This is big for us. This is big for Matt. And
it's a lot going on.
Man, and we're just, you know, support. You know, we appreciate all the support that we get because this is not me, this is not Eddie, this is not Gary, this is not Matt. This is a we thing that's always has
this
been.
whole community.
Yes. So we're
I
really
thought
looking
you told
forward
me
to
that
this.
there was a big future in measuring fish.
For the hand model, right?
Well, there's a big future in measuring gold, is what I told you.
Somebody's going to see those hands one of these days.
You're going to get the hand model contract
it.
one
Dude, they
time.
don't want my hands. Are
No, not your hand.
Not me. I know.
Not your
dude.
hands. Look at
These hands.
Gary's
These
hands. Gary's hands are the hand. That's the hands.
Hey,
I'd
wasn't there
rather
a
see.
song called These Eyes? I think it's called These Hands. Just kidding.
So,
Guess who, I think
but yeah,
so.
so we're talking about the snakehead rod, and just so happens we have somebody here in studio.
We
to
do?
talk more. I think so. Right over there. I'm pretty sure. And there's someone sitting
Gary's
there.
the
Not Gary,
man.
this guy right there.
hairy
Matt
guy?
Fletcher,
I
yeah.
can't even tell you who he's got so much
Yeah.
hair on his face.
That
No, I'm
guy.
just kidding.
So here to talk about his rods today, we've got Matt Fletcher.
How you guys doing?
We'll pull that mic up to you a little closer there, buddy.
How y'all doing?
There you go.
Won't turn.
you got closer.
All right.
So how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Good. So for those who don't know about you, the three people watching who don't know,
Yeah.
tell them a little about yourself.
Born and raised in Rock Hall, fishing all my
A
life.
little bit closer to that mic.
Sorry. Born and raised down in Rock Hall, so fishing's been in my blood since I was born. You know, my dad worked on the water, and now has his own charter boat down there, so he rock fishing all the time. Just love to fish. Anything on the water, doing it.
So
there.
let me ask you this, Matt. Like, we've all got a story that started somewhere. For you, we just heard, Rock Hall's where you grew up. What about fishing drew you in at first? I mean, let me ask you this. Everybody's got their first fish, okay? And for me, it was a sunfish on a bobber. I mean, that's what lit me. How did Matt Fletcher get to be a snakehead angler today? Where did he come from? What did you do in Rock Hall growing up? Let's talk a little about your childhood. Did you go fishing a lot? You hunt a lot? I mean, what did you do?
Me and my friends, we'd walk all over Rock Hall with fishing rods in hand. We'd walk down all the docks and the marinas and fish off their piers and get run out by the owners and go to another marina, or walk down to the jetty and go catfishing or off the rocks when they're running and rock fish off the rocks. And just, you never know what's going to be on the other end of that line when you hook it. That's what's got me hooked.
What was your first, let's say, love affair? Like, what were you chasing? Like, what did you want to go after? Was it rockfish? Was it perch around the dock? Was it crappie under the dock? Was it?
It just didn't matter. As long as it bit, I was happy.
That's the great answer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Doesn't matter.
Yep.
So we know you're into fishing. You like snakehead fishing. What kind of fishing, like let's talk about like the phases of fishing for you. Like, everybody has phases of fishing. I went through a rockfish phase, and then I got into this, I got into that.
Yeah.
Were you a big bass angler? I mean, were you into bass fishing? I mean, how did we get this love affair that we got right now, that I want to build snakehead rods, go catch snakeheads, and use snakehead skin to wrap these son of a bitches up with?
Well, I never did much bass fishing when I was younger, but when me and my wife moved to Florida for about 3 years, a buddy of mine that I worked with, he was into bass fishing and got into an angler or a tournament trail down there, and kind of started liking it, and winning some tournaments and winning some money, and they were actually kind of happy when I moved back to Maryland, because give somebody else a chance to win.
You were a
something,
threat,
they
huh?
said, yeah. And so when I moved back, didn't do much bass fishing around here, but then I started reading about the snakeheads. And
When did you move back?
I've been back for about 5 years or so now.
So we were already having snakeheads here when you came back.
But I didn't really know anything about them
Right.
for probably 3-4 years ago. I started really seeing it on Facebook, YouTube, and got researching it, and finally came down here and caught my first one. And actually, the first time I came down here, I didn't catch anything. I was still hooked. After the first one, it was over. My wife, she knows where I'm at on the weekend.
I mean, that's the cool thing about here. Like, even if you don't catch fish, man, like, just being here is enough to hook you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just, and I'm sure you see it all, Tom. The cool thing about here in snakehead fishing is it's not just the snakeheads. It's that we have so many other things here that we can view while we're out there, whether it be eagles, beavers, muskrats, snakes, turtles. You know what I mean? There's lots of stuff to draw you here. Tell us a little bit about your first snakehead. What was your first snakehead catch?
It was, let's see, it was.
Where'd you catch it at?
I was on Key Wallace in my kayak. Caught my first one down there on a. What was it? I think it was just a paddle tail, white paddle tail swimmer, and just happened to, he hit it and we went for a ride, but it wasn't 15 or 16 inches, but it was enough to hook me.
Right.
It was enough to, I'm coming back.
So
Did you only catch one that day?
I think so. I didn't catch much that day.
So when
And
did
it was raining.
when did you catch your first big fish that really like got into your skin and you said, "Dude, this is it, man. I found my home." And the reason I'm asking this question is because you got guys that come here that hit a home run right off the bat, and then you got guys like, and I'm going to use Mike Stewart as an example. Mike Stewart was coming down here for a couple of years before it happened for him. And I tell people all the time, I mean, you don't know when it's going to happen, but I think you're going to agree when I say this statement next. Once you do and you cross that line and you learn what to do, you've put the pattern together and you're on your way.
Gotta wait for that bubbles. That's my biggest thing. I was always forgetting was bubbles. Wait for the bubbles.
And that was one of the first things that I said when we did a how to target video
we've
with
said this since day
DNR
one,
was that, before you set that bobber, and I tell people when we're out there fishing, when my bobber goes down, I'm like, ain't no snakehead. What do you mean, man? It's not. And she bubbles? No, I don't know what you mean. And like the newbie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was something that I pounded into the newbie down here because I watched it at Aries. I watched it everywhere. I watched them get like, boom, dude, don't do that.
Yeah.
Why?
When people come in the store, that's the first thing I tell them that when they're new to snakehead fishing. When that fish hits, don't set your hook right away. You got to wait till you see those bubbles. Or
Same
you're
way
not
top water with frogs.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Same
yeah.
thing.
Mary Horseman, if you're
Oh yeah.
if you're listening, she's a testimony to that. I mean, you can wait a long time sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's times where, the bobber go down, somebody say it's a snakehead, I'd say, no, it's not. And then you'd say, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I don't get in a hurry. Now, I do a lot of bait fishing. I know you guys do a lot of lure fishing.
You love your bait, and we know.
I do. So, I mean, that bubble was definitely the key. Where did you hook your first? Where'd you catch your first dragon at? Area. You don't have to say. River. Just say the river or whatever.
Little Blackwater.
Yeah.
Okay.
I came down and it was probably one of my second or third times, and I hadn't been down here. Seeing on the videos all these lily pads. I want to fish in the lily pads, and came down here in the morning, and Damien was out front, and he gave me a little, go here, try this. Got down there, ended up running into Matt Palm and Wayne Waters. He gave me my first Danny the Duck. And ended up meeting
We sold a lot of them.
Oh, my goodness.
Ended up meeting up with Damien Cook down there, and me and Damien have been friends ever since.
He's
we
a great
fished
guy.
together
He's
all
just
the
one
time.
hell of a guy, man.
All the team tournaments with me and him together, and I probably caught my first 25, 26-inch fish down there, and it was on, That's when I knew.
Would you catch it on the duck?
Oh,
You
Danny,
said
Danny,
the duck.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, Danny.
Yeah, and I took that thing home, and I showed my brother-in-law, and he's like, "You can't catch fish on that." And we went to a pond up the road, bass fishing, and I snagged 2 of them out of the Danny. He's like, "Holy cow!" And I got a picture of lipping this fish with a duck sticking out of his mouth, and he just couldn't believe it.
Wow.
I love it.
That's the first thing anybody says when they come to the store. When they see those ducks, the mice, the spiders, and the dragonflies.
Let me tell you,
Fish don't
pickerel,
catch them. Yep.
pickerel do love a duck.
I haven't tried the dragonflies yet.
Well, I'll tell you what, the dragonflies, the old style lunker hunt.
Yeah.
Okay, so those dragonflies, before you go and waste your money, and I'm not dogging lunker hunt.
No.
But those things will catch fish. But those lunker hunt ones, I got to tell you, man,
They
I had a
don't
problem
cast
with the
well.
wings.
Yeah.
Not just that, but I had a problem with the wings. I only get maybe 2 or 3 fish, and the wings were all messed up.
Yeah,
you know?
well, they are thin. The wings are thin, and they're very light, so they don't cast very far. But man, they look beautiful and they catch fish.
they catch
if
fish.
you're right on top of them,
it's
they catch.
like I tell people, you got $5, $10 for a lure.
Right.
Go rock fishing. That's $100 for an umbrella.
That's true. That's the truth. Yeah.
And
Go
you
tuna
get-
fishing.
You
Yeah,
get hung
sure.
up or
Yeah.
something, and that joker snaps off. That's $100 you're out.
Yeah, like
You can do a
like
lot.
Matt said,
You
you
can do a
go
lot of
tuna
snakeheading
fishing
for $100.
We
Yeah,
went out
exactly.
one day and lost $500 on lures and like that, tuna fishing.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't
Oh
take
yeah,
much.
oh yeah. So Matt, the whole purpose of this is we want to talk about the brand. We want to talk about what you're doing. We want to talk about what's going to be going on here and what we're going to be doing to try to get these products out for you and get them, where they need to be, which is all over. Tell us a little bit about. I know you were catching snakeheads. You wanted to get into the rod building. I remember talking to you. I remember you saying there was a need for a rod that you thought you could come up with a good design, and you thought that you found the niche, and you've been playing with this thing. And I agree. I've used your stuff.
And we believe
Great
you found
stuff.
it. Yeah.
And we know you found it now, and that's why we're here and we're doing what we're doing. So, for the people out there that do not know you or not familiar with M.Fer Outdoors and what you're doing building rods, tell us a little bit about your rod. Tell us a little bit about your product. Tell us a little bit how you got to this point. I know that you wanted something different that you couldn't find, so you wanted to make it for yourself,
Yeah.
and we've gone from there. So, tell us about these rods, man. Why do I want to buy them from Matt? Why do I want your rod? Tell as a consumer asking Matt, what makes your rod good?
Craftsmanship. I warranty everything on this rod, and if something breaks, you're gonna break an eye, you're gonna pop an eye off or whatever. Give it back to me. I'll fix it. No question. You snap the rod in half through a doorway or something like that, your own stupidity. I'm not gonna warranty that, but the rod does have a warranty on it for a 1-year limited warranty. So if you set the hook and that rod snaps, I'll warranty. I'll build you a brand new rod, no charge.
How about if he breaks it over my head?
I really hope he doesn't break that rod because that one's Justin Klein's.
Yeah, no, I'm being realistic with it. Justin's a great guy, but I'm trying to show this tip. You know what I mean? You really can't.
It's tough.
It's not doing any justice, but I'm telling you right now, the wrap that he's got.
Just a little bit further away. I think. Yeah, there you go. That's focusing now.
You know, I mean that wrap that you've got going on is what we want to show you, Justin. You might not be getting this rod, dude, Justin. I might be just heading out of here right about now.
I built that rod, and I had so many people ask how much, and I just, to be fair, I just said, you know what, let's do an auction. You know, and Justin smashed it. He broke it. You know, he broke the whole auction.
So I'm looking at this particular rod here. Okay, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guides.
Yeah, helps keep it smooth.
And that's why I wanted to mention that. You know, as we sat out there tonight, us testing this new line and what we're doing, and no, Justin, we didn't use your rod, but I wanted to use your rod, Justin, but he wouldn't let me.
He wouldn't let him, but I let him use this one. You want to show this one?
Yeah. So here, take that one from me, Eddie. Don't break it. Now
this is a 7-foot. Medium heavy spinning guide.
This is a spinner here that I was looking at, and just, you know, this is the butt design here. I don't know if you can see that, but, you know, he's got his name here on that. But again, I mean, this tip, I really like what you got going on with this tip here. I think one of the biggest things for anglers is we break rods.
Yeah.
No.
You know, so
no.
I'm looking at the space that he has in the eyes here and the tightness of it. And me and you both know the closer these eyes are, the more strength, the more truthful running of that bore you're getting.
Yeah.
Smoother retrieve.
If you want to know how good a rod is, a real easy test is to watch a guide as you're turning the line real slow. As that line's winding through the guide, and this was the first thing that I looked at. You saw me out there and you asked me what I was doing, and that's what I was doing. So, you know, you can really, really get a gauge on a rod if you come down here to your bigger eyes, you know, which is what we did.
Gary's going to need some new
eyes. Gosh, I'm sorry, Gary. I didn't mean to poke you in the eyeball.
Talking about eyes or guys.
but I mean, the wrapping here, I mean, when I take my finger and I go like this is how I want to look at a custom rod. And I know a lot of people like me, so I'm feeling this. I don't want to feel ridging. I don't want to feel any of that, because then that means there's something loose here, okay? And I'm going to tell you.
I think there's something loose with the person holding it.
There's always something loose with the person holding it, you know? But the bottom line is this. When I take my hand and you can do this and you're not jumping your finger off, you know this is a solid seal. And that's why I was doing what I was doing out there. There's a lot to just saying I build a good rod. I mean, there's probably 15 guys out here that say I build a good rod. I'm not saying they don't build a good rod, but what makes your rod better? Why do I want it? And I can tell you, after sitting out there tonight, all of us sitting out there, we had several people out there looking at these things, didn't we, Matt? I mean, no bull crap. So as I'm watching this guide is what I'm doing. As my reel's turning, I'm watching in these eyes to see if there's any jumping in that eye. You know, if you want to know if the eyes are good on your rod, if they're rounded, they're where they're supposed to be, this is a good way for you to do it without having to put it on a machine or do anything like that. You simply just have a spinning rod and you're winding your reel. And as your reel's turning, you can watch that as it's spinning in the guide. And if that catches anywhere or just even jumps, it may not catch because it's brand new and it's smooth. But there could just be one little spot in there that you don't see that line will actually jump off of as you're turning it. You know, do it fast and then slow it down and watch it as it's going slow around that eye right there, you know. And that was something that I noticed tonight, you know, as Gary was holding the light on there and I sat there several casts to watch the light in the dark, because that's how you're going to be able to see it. You're not going to be able to see it so much out here. Get in the dark and that mono, whatever you're using, shows up real good in them eyes. And if you see that jump, then you really want to question what you got going on here with somebody's product. You know what I mean? And I got to tell you, we did a couple rods out there, and every single rod that I looked at was turning true. Nothing was jumping. As I run my hand up, not just one eye, I'm running my hand up the whole entire rod. Look, people, if I'm spending a couple $100 on something, I need to know before I blow my money that it's going to work. So there's ways to check something out before you take somebody's word. And I'm sharing these things with you because you can check some of the other products that you're buying by just like what I told you.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can check your rods at home.
I've
The other thing too, before I forget about it, Matt, is that you've bought a custom rod, you've used it 5 times. You really want to know how good your guides are? Go home with a Q-tip. Take all the line out of your rod. Take that Q-tip and go around inside of that. Turn all your lights out. Hold the light back here to the back somewhere so that you can see the fiber.
So you're getting cotton on there.
Yeah, right? So if you've been out there and you've used this rod 5 times and you're collecting fiber, you better call somebody and get your money back. Especially if you just spent $200 on
So you
something.
were talking about that with monoline. If you do that with braid, you'll see it right
It'll
off the
catch-
get-go.
Oh yeah.
It'll catch
Braid,
Well,
braid will fray.
Well, you
Yep.
guys know that I don't use braid. But the reason I'm saying all these things, going through all this, is because as a consumer, as an angler, I see everything that I'm looking for here.
Yeah.
With a sight unseen, if I didn't know Matt, I was walking into a store. This was sitting downstairs at Wolford. I picked it up. I rolled it to look to make sure that it's running right. Now I know what to look at and look for as a snakehead angler when I'm going and looking for something quality. It's right here. You just found it. It's right here, and we're going to have it. We're going to have it. So,
You when I build them, you spline them. You take it and you check where the spine's at, so you know what side to build on. So when you set the hook, the spine's going to be straight up and down, not tweaked and torquing, your rod. The majority of the fishing rod companies that you buy at a store, they might spline them real fast, but they're not true exactly all the time, And I've had somebody bring me a bait casting rod, had a guide broke off. Can you fix it? Yeah, I can wrap a new guide on there for you. Look down that pole, and the guides are like they're nowhere near centered. So it's like, now where do I put this guide?
Yeah.
It's almost easier just take them all off and put them back. Redo the
and
whole
then that was
rod.
another thing. Like if you hold that rod and you look down the line,
It's
like I
straight.
tell people, you hold a rod out in front of you, you look down like that, and you turn that thing. If you see that thing a little wobbly, man, it ain't right. Don't buy it. Put it back on the shelf, man.
Right.
And that's the good thing. I think that the best thing that you said here, and I hope everybody else heard it, because if you didn't hear it, I'm gonna repeat it. Matt said he will stand behind the entire build.
Yep.
Whoa. There's not a lot of companies out there that really do that. I know Ugly Stick's got their guaranteed lifetime warranty, whatever, but you just heard what the man said. He'll stand behind it for the life of the rod.
As long as you don't close it in the door.
Yeah, I mean, and now you send a man back a rod that's all crimped up at the end and say you broke it on the fish and it's splintered everywhere. I know that's a bunch of bullshit. You smash it in the
break
door.
a 6-foot rod and a 7-foot body on a chuck that's young.
But and that's why we wanted to work with Matt.
right.
It's because we know Matt's integrity. We know
Right.
where he is. He's not going to be the guy like some of these guys. Oh, I don't care. It's not my problem. I don't know what you did with it after you bought it from me. I'm sorry you spent $200. I'm not giving you your money back. I'm not talking to you, dude. Who do you think you are?
It's gotta be. You gotta have customer relations.
Yes.
And stand by your product and your work.
Another thing is, most people that are going to spend money for a rod are going to try to take care of it.
Now, a lot of people have asked why we're not running the snakeskin down the whole rod. So, Matt, I want you to kind of explain to the people that why we can't do that. We could vinyl dip something like that and maybe do something like that, but we can't do this real snakeskin wrap thing all the way down the rod. So, explain to them why.
That would just take, like, if you did that with this rod and you wrapped all the way up the rod, it would take all the sensitivity and all the flex out of it. If you did a medium heavy and you wrapped the whole thing in there, you'd be up to like an extra heavy rod by the time you got there. You'd have to start with an ultralight.
Right.
Yeah, but you could definitely hydro dip it. Or
So here's the thing, folks. We may offer an option to have you the whole snakeskin rod like some of you have asked
But it
for,
will just be real snakes.
but it's not going to hold. The whole thing won't be real like that. You know what I mean? So it is possible to do it. But if you really want the whole real concept, which is what we're infusing here to sell the product, that's how it's going to have to be done. I mean, you can change colors, but that's going to be an option. You know what I mean? And the rod's going to be exclusive here. Right here, Blackwater's Edge. You know what I mean? So you're going to have to come here to get it. You're going to have to order it through here or order it through Matt, and we'll get you straight. You'll pick it up here. We'll work all that out. But, I mean, man, this is just awesome, man. And Mike's saying here, those wing grips look killer. Mike's sitting right here and saying, I got $120+ topwater lures that I use. You know what I mean? So these guys, they're not afraid to spend the money. And if we want you to spend the money, we need to show you why you want to spend the money.
The
you know what I mean?
products on where to spend it.
That's the biggest thing out here as a consumer that baffles me at the success of companies. I need to know the why. I need to know why. Just because it's pretty, just because it's flashy, just because you said it works, that doesn't tell me anything. I know what I'm up against out here in Blackwater. Tell me why. So
take that rod and go put what we throw a quarter inch rivet frog on there.
Yep.
Yeah. How far were you casting it?
I don't know.
Well,
Oh my goodness.
I was
so
worried
here's-
about busting
Take that
neighbors'
same
windows out
rod
with it.
go to Walmart and buy the same rod and see how far it casts.
Well, you handed me a 7-foot rod with spinning reel on it and the frog on it. Never casted a rod before.
Right.
First time I was about 6 inches to the right of the puddle, and the second time I hit the puddle dead center at 40 yards.
And you just flicked your wrist.
Yeah, I could have casted it 65, 70 yards,
And-
no problem. Well, I did.
Yeah, you did.
Any farther would have been in Mace's house.
Yeah. Did you catch any squirrels on it this one?
Oh,
No, but I did see one wake in that mud puddle.
I can tell you what. So I did notice this, and I'll get the video. I did make a video of it. I'll share it later. But Gary made a cast. In the beginning, we're trying to figure out the weight and how to throw it, and he wound up hitting the tree. So him and Eddie had to go over and get out the tree.
I had to climb that tree to get.
But I did notice that the tree broke before the rod did. If you happen to notice that.
That's true. Yeah.
So, that was the kind of. So that's why I'm glad we were videoing the whole
that's
thing
tough
when
tree
we
too,
did it.
boy.
I can't wait to put that up.
Yeah.
So we know the strengths there. We know the durability's there. We know people that have been using your stuff now for over a year.
Yep.
So your product's out there. The report that's been back is top notch. You know what I mean? I don't know that I've heard anybody really say anything foul or anything negative about any of the products that you've
I haven't
made.
had anything come back yet, so that's
Yeah.
good.
And
That's usually a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and realistically, how many other rod builders out there can say that? Because
Right.
I right now can tell you, I personally know 4 or 5, and can't one of them say that.
Right. Well, these
You know?
CRB blanks are pretty strong, and I got a friend of mine builds rods in Smyrna, and he's been building way longer than me. He's been building on these CRB blanks, and he said he's maybe had 3 come back broken, and 2 of them were his own that he shut in the rod locker.
Wow.
The other one, the guy took out offshore towel fishing.
Right.
7-foot medium heavy freshwater rod. You're gonna break it. It's not what it's meant for.
Oh, wait a minute. You know where the true test really lies in all this? The Molly test.
Right.
Yeah. Good luck with that one. I don't think anything can stand up to the Molly test.
I learned to rip.
Matt Fletcher's come out with the dog jaw.
I'll go ahead and touch on that. So I can't put rods in there with Molly. I love
make one
Molly.
out of
Don't get me
Boron
wrong,
for
but
her.
Molly just likes to taste things, and I put Riley's rod in there to transport it from the farm to my place. And in transport, she not only ate his, but she ate.
You're gonna have to put
2
a
of mine.
roof rod rack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just start teaching her how to fish, and then maybe she won't mess shit up because she'll realize she needs it. You know what I'm saying?
She's a
You
dog,
can,
man.
Yeah, retrieve the fish like she's a goose or a duck dog, and that's
Mia
snakehead
likes
dog.
to fish. Have you ever seen her pick up a rod?
Hey, there's Dixon right there, the masturbator. What's up, buddy?
Chris, I'm working on your rod.
He's,
I got
that's
yours.
what he said.
Yours is next
You
to
got
the
one
chop.
building right now, so
That's the one I was casting this afternoon, wasn't it?
No. His is
That's the one Eddie's shutting the door.
I got a 6-footer now
next
instead
on
of
the
7.
machine.
We miss
so
you, man. We miss you a lot. Hope you're doing good.
Can't wait till it's done. So
I know you'll be in these tournaments. We know that.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I do want to say, how many times I want to try something this year, and if you guys can help me out, anybody's got any rods, any old rods you don't use, got a broken eye, got a broken tip, try to get them to me somehow, because I'm thinking about what I'm going to do is fix them up.
Donate them.
And how often do you go down to Newbridge and there's the guy and his son down there walking around, this little boy's not fishing because he ain't got a rod.
Yep.
Give him a rod,
Man, I can hook you up,
Right.
buddy.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'll
I
tell
have
you
got
what. And
some
honestly, if
rods.
you're going to do that, I don't know how many reels I got laying around in milk crates, and I'm talking.
Ain't got to be nothing special, but
No, I'm
get the
talking
boy-
hundreds,
get the
man.
kid- Get the kid a fish.
I mean, I'm just saying, I got milk crates from when I was sponsored by Quantum, just loaded with spinning reels and bait casters and stuff like that. I'd use them for 2
mind.
months and then hang them up. You know what I mean?
Carrying a few extra rods around with me to hold on to if I get out and see somebody needs a rod.
Dude, I'll tell you
Get
what.
these
We're,
kids a
we're,
fish,
we're-
man.
you know what, Eddie? I'll tell you what. Let's get a 55-gallon drum. Let's put it downstairs outside. Any broken rods anybody has in the community, bring them there and drop them in the 55-gallon barrel drum, and we'll get them over to Matt. We should be able to get a couple hundred rods real quick. I'll tell you what, Matt, you want to do that? We're going to reach out to some of these guys you work with doing the builds, get them to donate some eyes, can donate some stuff for free so it ain't costing you no money.
Right.
I'll tell you what.
We'll put it
This-
I'm
together.
not worried about that. They
I
don't
know,
cost-
I understand
the guides
that.
don't cost nothing.
I understand that, but this is a great idea
Yeah,
and a
I
great
just-
way to say thank you and to give back.
Yeah.
And dude, this is awesome. So I think we can really help you out here, and we will get on it right away with a barrel. I'll get a barrel down here tomorrow. So everybody here in Church Creek, Madison, anywhere in Dorchester County, this way at Cambridge, you've got some old rods you want to get rid of, taking up
Broken
some
rods,
space.
old rods,
You
the
know,
whole
bring them
works.
down here and we'll put them to use. If we can't fix them, then we'll discard them. But I'm sure that there's a lot of stuff that we can probably rework.
Yeah.
I knew a guy back in the
If
day.
it happens to be made out of bamboo and it says like a Orvis or something like that, I'll bring those in the store and just set them aside for Gary.
No,
He'll
I'll
pick
give-
them up.
Gary
no,
will
I'm
let
going to
them.
say I can give you a special drop for that down on Bucksnack. Don't worry about Gary, okay? I'll work it out with Gary later.
Matt, Michael wants to know what blanks he can choose from.
Yeah, you can choose from anything pretty much. I have a book and it's got, I got CRB, MHX, Rain Shadow. I can do pretty much anything you want.
Okay.
It just depends on where I got to get it from. And if you want a rod, contact me and I can send you options.
How did he contact you?
On Facebook. Facebook's the best way, or text message me. My I believe my phone number is on my Facebook. So you can text me, message me. I'm up late mostly every night. If I don't answer you, I'll
Where do
call
they find you
back
on
tomorrow.
Facebook?
M.Fer's Outdoors.
So how do they find like it's spelled a special way? They have to put it in a special way. I know you got a dot in something
yeah.
somewhere. So clarify that so they're not confusing with somebody else out there.
Yeah, it'd be M.Fers.
Outdoors.
Outdoors.
You want to give me your phone number just in case somebody's not using the internet?
Sure. Phone number's 443-480-3084. Give me a call, give me a text, and if I don't answer, I don't know the number. Most of the time I won't answer them because there's a lot of telemarketers. But if I see something
You
that
mean
looks
you
kind of
don't?
local,
You mean you don't like people calling to let you know your car warranty's expired?
I haven't had a car warranty in 20 years. I like to mess with them guys and guess what vehicle it is. One guy told me it was from my 2015 F-150 or Chevy. What was it? Chevy 2500. I was like, man, I don't even have. I wish my truck was that new.
I like the guys that call you like, yes, I'm calling on behalf of the IRS. Blah, blah, blah. Man, I'll play them some.
Oh,
Guns
yeah.
out for 20. I didn't understand. Can you tell me again? I'm not sure what you're saying. Can you? I mean, I have $5,000 right now. I can send you, but I don't know how to get it to you. So can you help me out again? Well, I'm still confused here. I mean, I can get 10 if that helps. I mean, I'm not sure. Oh man, by the time we're done, I gotta go. The phone rings back 20 times.
You've got to get them the Google gift cards. That's how you get it to them.
the Google gift card.
So, how much time do we have?
We got time.
We still got time, pretty much.
You want to give a ride away?
I'll tell you what.
Sure, I'll take it.
I'll tell you what. So
My wife's gonna kill me, but it's all right.
That's
She'll get
okay.
over it.
we didn't expect this, and,
No,
and
not
we
at
didn't
all.
ask for this. So Matt,
No, you
I
didn't.
mean, I didn't see this coming at all. So look, what do you want?
Whoever can
What,
name my PB poundage.
so whoever out there knows Matt Fletcher's personal best, you put it in the comments.
Or you guess.
What do you
Correct.
guess?
You can guess.
Start guessing.
down for Gary.
Just
Yeah.
yep. We're gonna write it down here right now, and we'll come back and we'll look at this tomorrow.
Yeah.
You want to do that? Do you want to do that? Give
Yeah, we'll give
24
them
hours.
24 hours. First one to get it correct gets it.
So in the comments,
Yep.
you go ahead and take a guess at what Matt's personal best northern snakehead is, and if you get it right, then we're gonna give you this rod, free, and then you can see how badass these things are. And Matt, we just talked about how kind you are with what you just want to do with snakehead rods. So just to know that you're fixing rods, and giving back. That I think that's what attracted us so much to you is the fact that you want to give back. I've been talking to you about a gosh darn crab sign for 8 months. So I don't know whatever happened to that. If you ever got rid of that,
She gone.
Okay, good. So I'm just saying, I know where your heart is. I know the kind
Yeah.
of guy you are. I know what you do, and for you to do this today just speaks volumes of the kind human you are. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And fortunately, this is what we need now is people like you in the world. So, you're gonna have to guess Matt's personal best northern snakehead, and you can have this MFer's rod right here. And let me tell you what,
Skywalker, you
It's
got to do better than that, buddy.
it's beautiful. So we got that we're giving away tonight. We've got our MEPS Angler of the Week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So this
right?
week we
So,
have.
I know you got that, Eddie.
Yep. This week we've got Tom Reed, and it's not an actual snakehead, but my God, this looks so cool. I couldn't pass up on it. It's a carved wooden snakehead, It was posted onto American Sporting Classics, but Tom Reed shared it into Snakehead Life, and I just thought it looked so good. That had to be our
I'm
Maps
pretty sure
Angler
that
of the
that's
week.
Tom's company because I've been following a lot of this, and I would really like, and I think I will. We're going to reach out to him and see if we can't get some of these in the store down here because we've
Right.
had some people asking about carving. And
But that just looks so good.
oh
I
my
figured you
God.
deserve the Meps
yeah,
this week.
Yeah, so yeah, you get a free Meps. Come on down and pick out a Meps off the wall.
Yep.
Matt, before we get out of here today and before we go, if there's one thing that nobody knows about you, like, is there something that Matt's into that was just like, do you collect model cars? Do you, what is one thing that we don't know about Matt that will really surprise everybody? I know that's a loaded question.
Not too much. Yeah, it's just love hunting, fishing, and when I'm not fishing in the summer, I'm riding my motorcycle.
Let me ask you. So my guest question this week is, Matt, what are your favorite kind of cookies to eat? What kind of cookies does Matt like to eat when he's hungry?
I like all cookies, but I'm on a diet, so I'm not allowed to have them right now. But I'd say Girl Scout cookies.
There you go, baby. That's all.
What's your favorite
That was my
Girl
loaded
Scout
question.
Which one?
Thin Mints.
Thin
or
Mints, baby.
Samoas.
Thin Mints.
Samoas.
Samoas, yeah,
Smells
baby.
the one, buddy.
Yeah.
I like the banana ones too, or
That-
the lemon
Y'all,
things.
hold on.
Fat boy
Y'all
likes
y'all
food.
still realize that I'm losing weight still, right?
Here's the
That-
stickers right
that's-
here, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still losing. I can't handle this stuff right now. I'm still going down. I'm under 220 now.
Do you want me to give you Meps? You can probably get a lot lighter. You swallow this thing
I'd
down.
get a
I
lot lighter
promise
quick.
you.
Spend another 2 weeks in the hospital.
Yeah, that's right. I don't need all that.
Matt, before we leave today, is there anything that you want him to know about the rods that we haven't talked about? Is there anything that we didn't touch on? I mean, the guides. What kind of guides are you using?
Well, if you want custom, I mean, we have a lot of different, options we can go through with the Fuji guides. Really like the new CRB LZR blank guides. They're really really nice, pretty smooth casting. They make them in casting and spinning. They make them in black, chrome, and gunmetal, which is pretty nice looking
That is
gunmetal.
nice. Yep.
The microwave guides are pretty nice. I believe your store rods are going to have the
Mhm.
microwave guides on them.
Yep.
They're really nice and really smooth. They cast
I mean, this
far
is
too.
just so cool. You'll be able to come in here. The rods will be in stock. Hopefully, you'll be able to get them out of here.
For a little while, anyway.
Well, I mean,
they won't be in stock long.
we know this is going to go really fast, and the orders are going to fly in here, and we're just really excited about everything. This whole club thing is going to be so
It's
much
gonna be so
fun.
much fun.
You know,
Yeah,
man. I mean,
can't wait to get the parts in so I can get the building and get them down
And I
here
guess-
and get to fishing this year.
Somebody can come in and pre-order one, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
absolutely.
If they
Get
wanted to
them in, so-
pre-order, that's absolutely. But we're going to have them in stock too.
I mean,
as
we're
soon as
taking
possible.
pre-orders right now. So
Yep.
if you want to pre-order, you can pre-order now. Get on the list, and we'll get you a turnaround time as fast as we can, and get the rods to you.
I already pre-ordered.
I bet you did, probably by the dozen too.
Nah, not done.
So yeah, man. I mean, this has been a really good show. I think that we covered the good stuff we needed to cover today. I think the tournaments is really going to be a lot of fun. I think.
Kaz Erica wants to know what your hat says.
What does my hat say? The Bait Boys. Oh, wait a minute, Snakehead 101.
Oh yeah, we forgot Snakehead 101 this week.
Correct. So you know, every week I said I was going to do this. We'll have a little Snakehead 101. We'll talk about a lure or something like that, or maybe what to do with a lure. So I thought today what we would do is this. As a bass fisherman, I always wanted to know what to do with this. What do I do with my spinnerbait after my skirt's either dry rot, gone, not working anymore, pike ripped it off, something like that?
You know what I do? I go to my pro staff and just get more.
Well, I understand, but for the guy who doesn't have the pro staff,
okay.
this is what he's going to do. This is what I did for many years. I didn't have money, and I fished so much that a spinnerbait up at Peach Bottom in the wintertime will be gone with it's skirted and 10, 15 fish. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting there one day at Peach Bottom in the warm water in the middle of winter, and I got a bunch of these laying in the box, and I know the shad are in there really good that day, and they're swimming around, and the fish are feeding on the shad. So one of the easiest things that you can do with your spinner baits, if you don't want to go and buy new blades, you don't want to go do all those things, you can simply just take any kind of tail that you got. So for tonight, I'll just use something real simple.
There you go.
You can just take any kind of a tail, you know what I mean? And you want to adjust accordingly. And now you actually have a usable bait, okay? And then a usable snakehead bait at that. I probably
spinner
have,
swim bait.
I probably have right now. I probably have a couple hundred of just heads with blades, left over, and this is what I've been doing with them. As snakehead season goes through, I dig a few more of these old things out, and I always have one. This is beautiful.
That's
look,
a beautiful lure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now I've recycled something that was just laying around that I wasn't using for anything, and I've got a new bait. And then when I realized that this bait's working, 9 times out of 10, I didn't go buy another spinnerbait. I just bought some more of these plastic tails. You know what I'm saying?
What do you do when your spinner's not spinning?
Just use some WD-40 or throw it in the trash. When that's done, it's done. Now here's the thing. The reason I'm saying this is because, of course, the gauge wire on these probably is not the best for snakehead fishing. But spinnerbaits work great for snakehead fishing. Mm-hmm. So if you've got these laying around like me as growing through them, I just threw them in a bag. I got Ziploc bags of just the blades and the heads, Ziploc bag after Ziploc bag. Nichols lures, old Stanley wedges. As a matter of fact, is this an old Stanley wedge? This is, no, it's a Strike King. But the old Stanley wedge baits, man, I'll tell you what, they were hot spinner baits. And that was the actual lure that I used that day up at Peach Bottom on that day. And what I did is I put a 4-inch sassy shad on this, and I know J.R. Witzel, my cousin, he's got some really nice shad bodies over there that you could do that with on here, So, this week for Snakehead 101, how can we recycle and use lures that are sitting around? So this week we'll talk about how to recycle a spinnerbait. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's what we'll do. Next week we're going to talk about a new product that's coming out that nobody knows about yet, but we'll introduce that next week. Next year's
a long time.
But yeah, man, if you're at home and you've got old tackle laying around, it's just sitting in a box, it's not doing something. We're snakehead fishing, man. You want to save some money, get that old shit out and use it up, man. Use it for something. That's. I did it a lot in the beginning because I couldn't afford to buy. When I was first starting the crab stand and doing all this, Eddie, I was addicted to snakeheads. I can't tell you how many times I came into Eddie and asked for a front on some snakehead lures because I didn't have any cash in my pocket. I just ran out of bait out another direction and not wanting to go to town. Eddie, man, can I just grab like $30, $40 worth of shit? I'll give money back to you later tomorrow. Yeah, just get what you need and go, man. So we're here to help. That's the bottom line. And if you've got old stuff laying around, there's something you can do with it. Next week, we'll talk about a new lure. If you have any questions about anything that we've talked about here on the podcast, invite your friends, man. You know what I mean? This is a pretty big deal on this one. So, get them in here, let them hear what's going on. Tell them about the tournament. Say, hey, man, Black Warriors Edge, they got tournament trail coming back. Here's the details. You want to know about it? Go over there. You want to win a free rod? You got 24 hours to put the right number in there and get it. You know what I mean?
Nobody's guessed it yet.
No, like I said, you got 24 hours. So we're going to give you 24 hours from whatever. What time is it now? Somebody give me a time.
It is 8:37 p.m.
We're up here late tonight. So 8:37 till 8. So it's till tomorrow at 8:30 because I know we've been talking 7 minutes.
Yep.
You got till tomorrow at 8:30 to give the guess. You don't get it?
I take it back.
No, we won't take it back. No, we won't take it back. We'll do something next week.
Yeah.
Different to give it away.
That's right.
If they can't guess that PB, we'll close that up, and then next week you can ask
We'll change the qualifications.
What size shoes do I wear?
We'll do something different than that. Erica, real quick, you can get the hats here at Wolford Store. We have them available here downstairs now. So.
Yeah, so we did want to mention that. So me and Damien talked about that today about putting the hats in the store. I said, just go down and talk to Eddie. We'll get them in and we can start selling them.
We got them here now.
Yep. So if you like the hat, that's the hat right there. You can get them here. We've got red.
Four different styles.
We've got red. We've got, what else? Red. We got the blue with the pattern on it. We got blue. We got
gray, I think.
Gray.
Yep.
So there's 4 different colors down here. Come on down. You want a dozen of them at a time? We'll cut you a little deal on them. Maybe work something out.
Kaz, you got any more?
Nah, Matt, do you know how to sing? Are you a good singer?
No, not at all.
You're better off.
Yeah.
You in tonight?
No.
You in tonight?
No.
I'm ready. So look, folks, what's this Sunday?
Super Bowl Sunday.
Ooh, Super Bowl Sunday. What does everybody like to eat on Super Bowl? Oysters. Everybody loves slurping oysters on.
Oysters, even if it's not Super
well, I'm just saying.
My gout doesn't like oysters.
I know that, but I know a lot of guys I know that like having oysters. So, folks, look, we're gonna have a run put together on Sunday morning. We're gonna be coming up the road. We're going to make sure that you got some stuff for your parties. What time's the game start? 6:30? Is that what they're saying? Something like that?
I don't remember.
I can't remember. It's in the evening. I know that. So, we'll have some oysters up there. I'm going to have some soft crabs I'm bringing up there, some whales, some jumbos, and some primes. So we'll have them up there. We're going to have maybe some pints up there. Who knows? I'm just going to bring some stuff to eat. Crabs are just honestly,
it's February.
I understand, but I was trying to get crabs this weekend, and really like a lot of what I'm seeing and the dead loss that's in it, what's coming in because of the cold snaps and the limited supply and the prices going up. I've just decided to stay away from that. I think that we can do fine with oysters and other stuff like that without trying to rip people off at $450 a bushel on crabs. I'm just not doing it. I didn't do it last year when it was going on. I'm not going to do it again this year. So we'll have some good stuff to eat this weekend and fill your belly. And you want to get in on that, just send me a personal message on my personal page or go over to bigazzcrabs.com or honestbushel.com, and you can shoot me a message there and we'll get you what you need. Other than that, sure nobody wants to sing with me?
It's all you, bud.
So, for those of you that are not from here, before we close this show, I do want us just to take a moment of silence for our friend Benny.
Yes, absolutely.
I want Benny to know that we're thinking about him and his family, the Horseman family, and we're praying for you. We know this is not going to be easy from here out, and the good thing about this community is that we all stand together. So let's just take a couple seconds and I don't know, maybe just say a little prayer for Benny. My crabs, they have 3 first names. It's heavy, full, and fat. My crabs, they have a 4th name. Absolutely mustard packed! So, if you ask me where they're from, Benny, we love you. They're 100% guaranteed Maryland number 1s. At the crab stand, here's a fact I know for sure you're coming back. Kapow! Kapow! Hey, Benny! Kapow!